WABY, Albany. It's 6:30 p.m., time by Shapiro Jewelers, Bulova Watch Headquarters, 95 North Pearl Street, Albany. Shapiro Jewelers invite you to listen now to the roving radio reporter with Forrest Willis, a presentation by Magnetic Wire Recorder.
Hello, everyone. Well, here's your roving radio reporter today with what I feel is the most unique broadcast I have ever done in 19 years of radio. And one of the easiest, I might say, because today I'm right here at my own Thanksgiving dinner. By the time you folks are listening to this broadcast, you probably will have had your Thanksgiving dinner. But on behalf of Shapiro Jewelers and Mr. Sam Resnick, the owner of Shapiro Jewelers, we do hope that your Thanksgiving Day has been the happiest in many, many years. I told you that this was for my Thanksgiving dinner. Well, really, we're all gathered around here, just a real American home. We're at my other mother's. I hate the word mother-in-law, and I'm going to put that right on the broadcast. And I can say this publicly for everyone to listen to tonight, that I have one of the grandest other mothers anybody could possibly have. Her name is Mrs. Minnie Hamlin. And, Mom, what are we going to have for dinner?
Oh, Forrest, it's all ready.
Is it?
We're going to have the traditional turkey with that dressing that you love.
Oh, the table looks grand.
Cranberry sauce, mashed and candied sweet potatoes, squash, and asparagus tips.
Oh, Harry. Keep going.
We're going to have mince pie and pumpkin pie, nuts and coffee. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounds grand. There's only one little item missing today.
What did I forget?
You didn't forget a single thing. But in our family gathering today, Mom, we do miss one of your boys, and that's Dr. William Hamlin.
Well, indeed I do.
You
It's all
bet.
complete except that.
That's right. But have you heard from Bill?
Well, I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks, Forrest, and I'm just a little bit worried.
No. He's out in Utah.
Well, yes, he is.
And
I hope so.
He's a lieutenant in the Army. And,
That's right.
you know, it's awfully nice to have a doctor in the family.
I think so, too.
I'll be glad when he gets home.
Well, you bet I
Mom,
will,
you
too.
can go back to the kitchen now.
Oh, thanks, Forrest.
Oh, well, we're just having a lot of fun here. Now, in all the years I've been in radio, I have never had a chance to talk to my own mother. And this is the first. How you, Muzz?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous, aren't you?
Rather.
This is a little different.
This is quite different from anything I've ever done
You know,
before.
Muzz, one thing I want to ask you. There's Thanksgiving today. Is it a little different than years ago when you and I used to be up in Hoosick Falls in the country? And I don't recall those days, but you must. Is it different?
Well, I don't think it's very much different. All the family gathered
right.
around for the Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Perhaps we had a little more work for it. We made our bread ourselves, and if we had mince pie, we made the mince meat, things like that.
You know, in 19 years, I've wanted to get you on the radio. This is marvelous to see my own mother, the other side of the microphone, and really worrying about what she's saying.
I think it was colder at Thanksgiving time in those days.
Really?
I remember. I was married Thanksgiving Eve, and the ground was frozen. There was snow.
Yeah.
Seems to me it was...
In those days, there weren't any automobiles to get around either, were there?
No, indeed, there wasn't.
Used to
We
get
came
around
in
in
carriages.
And but everybody gathered together just like we're gathered
Just
today.
like we couldn't turn the radio on, though.
That's
We gathered
true.
around the piano
That's
and sang
right.
songs.
Well, we're going to sing songs later on, and Muzz, thanks an awful lot. And I want to tell you folks listening, as I've told you thousands of times, I guess, by this time on the radio, I have the grandest mother in the world. Okay, Mom? Huh?
Okay.
She can't talk now. She gave up there. Well, I'm going over to Jane. Jane is my sister-in-law, and I still hate that word sister. I never had a sister, so hello, sis.
Hello,
How are you?
Forrest. Fine, thank
Are
you.
you happy today?
Certainly am.
Why?
Because my husband is back from the war.
And don't you think that the folks listening to our broadcast, Jane, tonight, there aren't hundreds of them who are happy and thankful for that same reason. Last Thanksgiving was a grand Thanksgiving for us, but he was over there then, wasn't
That's right.
he?
This
Go ahead.
certainly is a wonderful Thanksgiving for everybody in the world today because the war is over and there are many, many boys back in their own homes again.
Anytime you want to be a radio announcer, let me know. You go right on there. Very, very fine. Well, Dick, come on over here. I want to talk to you now. This is the gentleman who, this is my brother. My brother. I never had a brother either. Hiya, Dick.
Hello, Forrest. How
Where
are
were
you?
you last Thanksgiving?
I was in France.
I better tell the folks this is Richard Lewis. And where in France?
I was, we just finished crossing the Meurthe River
Yeah.
and heading up through the Salis Gap towards Strasbourg.
Did you really realize it was Thanksgiving, Dick?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
All the boys knew that.
Our kitchen was about 15 miles back, and they brought us up turkey and all the fixings.
You did have turkey.
Absolutely.
You know, we said Thanksgiving. Well, the boys, according to the Army, are going to have turkey today, but sometimes when I made that announcement, I wondered if all the boys did get turkey.
All the boys got turkey that I know of. Once in a while, it would be a couple days late, but they got it.
What division were you in, Dick?
I was with the Chemical Mortar Battalion.
How do you like Albany now?
Fine.
It looks pretty good,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I sure like it.
Well, Dick, I'm not going to take too much time with anybody around here, but, boy, it seems good to see you back, too. You got fat since you got back.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be fatter before this Thanksgiving Day is over.
Well, I know that. About 5 pounds.
About 5 pounds is right. Where's my wife? I've never had my wife on the air either. Hello, hon.
Hello,
Gee, it's great. Oh, and I got the baby right in my lap.
in my lap.
Hello, darling.
No.
How are you?
Fine.
That's my little 2-year-old girl for all of you folks listening. Will you tell everybody your name? Tell me your name, will you?
Oh, what is your name?
What's your name?
Barbara Jane Willis.
Well, of course, Barbara Jane Willis. That's the way it comes over here. I don't know whether it's coming over or not. This is kind of a nice Thanksgiving, isn't it?
I'll say it is.
You bet it is. And I want to get Barbara here. Would you sing a song for me, darling?
I think
Would you sing Chicory Chick? Huh? Well, that was just grand. I never thought she'd do that on the air, folks. I'm honest about it because she is only 2 years old. Do you know where you live, Bobby?
I live down to 20 Fleetwood.
20 Fleetwood, that's right.
Did I 20 Fleetwood?
20 Fleetwood, yeah. Could you sing another song for me?
Yes.
What? What would you sing?
I can sing Down Duck.
Donald Duck?
Yes.
Well, let me hear
Down
it.
Duck.
Donald Duck, huh? Okay, any more you want to
Down Duck.
Okay, I heard about Donald.
Down Duck.
Well, that's right. That's right on the air. And how? Well, now I'm going. Where's Shirley? Shirley's kind of running away from me here, my other sister, and she's out here somewhere taking care of some of the children. Well, you folks are tuned in late. We are doing a broadcast from my other mother's home today, and we're really having a lot of fun up here. Hiya, Shirley.
Hi, Forrest.
Shirley comes, folks, I'll tell you, from the way the youngsters, you know, if you hear pet names on our broadcast tonight, it's only because of the fact they come from the children. Shirley, you've just finished school, didn't you?
Yes, Forrest. I just finished in the Garland School in Boston.
Mm-hmm. How's it seem to be home?
Seems wonderful.
Does it?
I was home last year, but it's better this year.
Because you're home all the while.
Because I'm home all the while.
Shirley, what are you thankful for today?
What am I thankful
Honestly,
for?
now, no kidding.
Oh,
We all have a lot to be thankful for.
just having everyone home. Of course, I miss my brother,
Sure.
but it's fun having everyone here together.
Well, you know, that's surely the reason I thought this would be a cross-section of an American home, because there are many people listening to our broadcast who haven't brothers or husbands home yet, and we know that because of the way they call our station for the redeployment timetable and want to know when this ship is ending up and when they're coming into port and so forth. But we're kind of lucky to have as many home as we have.
We certainly are.
We've got a lot to be thankful for,
We
haven't we?
have, haven't
Boy,
we?
I wish they could see that smile, and I wish we had television. I got a beautiful sister here. Okay, thank you. You know, there's a young lady here today in our midst, and I'm getting hungrier by the minute, incidentally, and I can smell that old Turk out there in the kitchen. Miss Louise Fox. I've never known her by any other name than Nani.
Nani.
Nani is right. Where did that come from, Nani?
The children?
The children,
Yeah,
sure. They all
nicknamed that.
nicknamed Nani.
And
Nani,
they all, the grown-ups and all, call
yes,
me that.
you bet. For many, many years,
Many
too.
years, yes.
Nani, tell me this. Do you remember way, way back Thanksgiving? What's the first Thanksgiving you remember?
Well, we was all together that day. We was looking forward to the fine time we was going to have.
You remember how many years
Because,
ago that was?
oh, my Lord, don't ask me. Don't you think he's got a nerve?
We won't give your age away, honestly.
don't
Nani.
make any difference to me.
Okay.
It's a long time.
Long
it's on
time
the old
ago.
homestead.
Yes, do you remember who was there?
Yes, my nieces and their husbands and my brothers and their wives
Yeah,
and
Ed
all
Dorwalt
happy.
and-
Ed Dorwalt
sure.
and his wife.
How old were Well, now I'm getting a little personal, but how old was my wife, for instance? Do you remember at that time?
Well,
Was she
I
a little
don't.
girl then?
Yes, she was.
Mm-hmm.
Quite small.
She's getting a kick
Yes,
out of this.
yes. Quite small. She's always my favorite niece.
Well, she's my favorite, too, of course. Thank you, Nanny, for talking to me. Well, now, let's see. We're going to... Well, where's Oi? There's a little boy here. It's Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, little boy. And, hello, how are you? You want to say something to me? What's my name? What's my name? You remember?
Okay.
What?
Okay, okay.
What do you, okay. Yeah, he's only just 2, folks. I'm telling you this, but I want to get the whole family on if I possibly can here today. What do you call me? What's my name?
Who's this, David?
Boy.
Oi. That's all I wanted to get on the radio because ever since he could say anything, I have been Oi. So I've been called everything but Oi, but I'm Oi today. And now I'd like to get over here to a great big fella. You come on up here and stand, but he's almost as big as I am. You know, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this fella. I'm kind of proud of him, but he does not like the name Forrest. He calls himself F. Lawrence Willis, but still he is Forrest. Hi, Larry.
Oh, I'm all right.
12 years old, aren't you?
Yeah, going on 13.
Well, I'm kind of proud of you, and you better tell the folks what school you go to.
Oh, I go to the Vincentian Institute.
What is this I hear about a basketball team or something over there, fella?
Oh, well, I don't know how to play basketball very
No?
well. And in fact, I don't know how to play, but
But you're going to do what?
I'm going to manage the team.
You're going to manage the team.
Yeah.
Well, boy, that ought to be some management. How old are these fellas you're going to manage?
Oh, about my size or smaller.
Uh-huh.
Large.
Can you think of some of the boys' names, Larry, that are going to be on that team?
Thomas McEnany.
Yeah. What's this pal's name of yours you're always telling me about?
Oh, Pete Conway.
Yeah, Pete Conway. Does he
Yeah.
play on the team, too?
Yeah, I think he's on. I'm not sure.
Uh-huh. How would you like to be a radio announcer, hon?
Well, I don't know. I'd rather be a
Yeah,
sports writer for
a sports
paper.
writer, huh?
Yeah.
We'll get a hold of Charlie Young of the Knickerbocker News, and
Yeah.
I think you do some swell jobs on those cartoons. You like to draw, don't you?
No, sure.
You bet. And what's the latest now? You're putting out a newspaper too, aren't you, for the school?
Yeah, I'm putting out a newspaper entitled the 7A News Bug.
The 7A News Bug, huh? Well, Larry, you've been great on here, and this is the first time I've ever had you on here in a long, long time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, way back.
Are you hungry?
Oh, boy.
I'm starving, too. Well, okay, and now here is another big boy of mine. You're introduced to the whole family today, and he's kind of a swell boy, too. Will you tell him your name, honey?
Keith Willis.
Keith Willis. You talk a little bit louder, won't you, dear? And tell him how old you are.
5.
5. You know, down to Albany Academy, where you go to school, they teach you a little grace. You know what I mean by that? A little prayer. And when we get to our Thanksgiving dinner, which is going to be in about 3 minutes now, you're going to say the grace this noon. Would you say it on the microphone for Daddy, just like you say it? Go ahead.
We thank the Lord for this our food and rain and sunny weather. Thank the Lord for happy hearts and out here together. Amen.
Amen. Well, that is grand, sonny boy. You know who told me about that?
Huh.
Well, Mr. Harold Smith, who is the manager of WABY, and he said you get Keith to say the grace because he's learned it down in the buttery at Albany Academy. His boy goes down there, too, you see. Now, just to show off my youngsters today, it's the first time I've had a chance. There's a little song I want you to sing. I want you to sing it better than Barbara sang Chicory Chick. What do you say, fella, will you? The one about the turtle there? Go ahead.
There was a little turtle. He lived in a box. He swam in a puddle and climbed on the rocks. He snapped at a mosquito. He snapped at a flea. He snapped at the minnow, and he snapped at. He got the mosquito. He got the flea. He got the minnow, but he didn't catch me.
Oh, that was grand. That was swell, honey. You don't mind talking on this microphone, do you?
Yeah.
No? You're going to be a radio announcer, honey?
Yeah.
Yes? And you're having a good time today?
Yeah.
Well, you've been grand, darling, and thank you a lot. Well, folks, that just about brings us around to the conclusion of our broadcast. You see, the time does go very fast. We've been up here, for you folks who tuned in late, at my other mother's home for Thanksgiving. We found from our broadcast yesterday that so many people go out every Thanksgiving, but that's the old American way of all the families getting together. It's happened since the Pilgrims way, way back. And if you hear any noises, you want the dolly to talk, honey? Huh? Well, what do you want her to say, dear?
She can't talk. Just some literature.
She can't talk because she's got lipstick on?
Yes.
Huh? Is that it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, okay, see what you can get her to say. You want to tell her about North Hero?
No, Theo.
North Hero. Well, that's my little 2-year-old butting in on me here. But there's only one thing missing today. I wish we had our sponsor, Sam Resnick, up here. We have just 12 people, and Harry Holtz, who's done our broadcast, has had a grand time. He says he's the 13th one. And but it is Thanksgiving, and it's the first time in my life I can truly say that I've ever had a chance to do a broadcast and right after it be able to eat my Thanksgiving dinner. You know, seriously, though, folks, we have plenty to be thankful for today. Peace has come to our country. Our country has been spared, really, the ravages of war. Once again, our loved ones are either coming home or they are home again. To those boys who will not come home, those who gave their lives, we certainly owe plenty of thanks. That is the sadness of this Thanksgiving and peace time. And we should be thankful for the type leaders that we've had during the war and the leaders right now during the peace. And certainly, above all, we should give thanks to God for all the blessings in our midst on this Thanksgiving of 1945. I hope you've enjoyed our little fun fest here today. It's been a little different, but we feel that, well, this broadcast might have been taken at any home listening to it tonight. In other words, we realize you and your families have also had a day similar to mine. And believe me when I say I am thankful for thousands of things too innumerable to mention. First, for the sponsor that I have on this broadcast, and second, for you folks out there who make all of our broadcasts at the radio station possible by your acclaim and by your thanks. And so until tomorrow, when we greet you from in front of Houston's drugstore at Lark and Washington Avenue around 12:15, this is Forrest Willis, your roving radio reporter, on behalf of Shapiro Jewelers and all of us here today, hoping you have had the grandest Thanksgiving in many, many years.
You have been listening to the roving radio reporter with Forrest Willis, and presented Monday through Friday at this time through the courtesy of Shapiro Jewelers, Albany's popular diamond store at 95 North Pearl Street, Albany. A magnetic wire-recorded presentation, the roving radio reporter, will be heard tomorrow evening at 6:30. WABY, Albany.